Okay, so good afternoon. It's Thursday, June 18th, 2026. And oh boy, I feel like I have a good amount of things to talk about this week. Starting off, we got the number 5. Toy Story 5, Shrek 5, Nixon 5. I saw a thing the other day where apparently during the parade they had Elmo's head on a bike and it just said traitor. Got me. Oh my goodness, these seats, these streets ain't Sesame, Elmo. But like number one, I have to say, just first off, congratulations to the Knicks ending their 53-year drought. They are the current reigning undisputed NBA champions, and I think that's awesome. As the playoffs were happening, I'm like, look, I'm an OKC fan, and I hope my team wins. I hope we repeat. If it can't be us, I would not mind it being the Knicks because this is a very fun team to watch. This seems like a really likable group. And then when it became clear, when the finals are happening, that, okay, it's either the Knicks or the Spurs, I have some reasons. I think it'd be okay being the Spurs, if the team that seems to be our major rival gets it done, no pun intended, but maybe that's something that'll really spur us to get better, to really take them seriously. Maybe that'll help Chet in his development and his rivalry with Wemby. I don't know. I'm like, I do like Wemby. I wouldn't be upset to see him win. But my big issue, aside from the fact that, I do kind of like this Knicks team, I wouldn't mind them seeing them get it done. As I said, it's just the way that the Spurs are viewed and treated. Because, I see, this is a team that plays incredibly physical defense, just like OKC. But when OKC does it, they play dirty, they're awful, look at them. How do people not call it? When the Spurs play good defense, they just play hard. Well, it's because they just play tough. And the whole ethical hoops thing, I'm like, I don't really buy that. And I saw that perception shift during the finals where it seemed like people really liked the Spurs because they weren't OKC. And now that people were seeing that, this is a team that plays really physical, that doesn't always get called. There's a lot they get away with. Maybe they're not the ethical hoops team we thought they were. It's that exact thing from Megamind. It's like, I'm not, I would say saved, more like under new management. But then the next one anyways. Another thing during the finals was, I kept hearing about how young this Spurs team was, because they are a very young team. They're the second youngest team to reach the finals. That's also what OKC was last year. So, it just was like, this is the second youngest team ever. They're so young. And I'm like, it's really funny that people were saying the same things about the Thunder. And now that's being used as almost the Spurs' excuse for not getting it done when, what do you know? OKC got it done. And granted, there was a major injury in Game 7. Who knows what would have happened if Halliburton didn't get injured. And you know what? I wish he didn't. Even if that means we wouldn't have won the chip, I don't want to see someone get injured. I don't want to see someone playing that well get injured. That's not fun to watch. That's not good for the sport. And to be honest, it is one of those, I would rather play you at your best and lose, knowing, we both gave it all, gave it our all, than we won, but then there's always that asterisk beside it, If anything, it kind of reminds me of the Warriors and how, I believe, I might be getting my years wrong. I think 2016 is when the Cavs won. So it should be 2015 is the Warriors won that chip. And it was all of this it's because they had an easy path. The Spurs were beaten earlier, so they didn't get to play their big rival team. And, the Cavs were badly injured, and it still went to 6 games. The Warriors aren't that good. And then the next year they went 73-9 and one of the best seasons ever. They were the villains of the NBA. But then they weren't able to repeat. And then, they ended up signing Kevin Durant, went on a huge dynasty. But my point is, it's young team, wins the finals. There is a major injury. The following year, they are treated as the big villains, and they have a great year, but they aren't able to repeat. So we'll see what happens next year. Like, I mean, obviously the 73-9 Warriors did better than us. They went 73-9 and made the finals. We didn't quite do either of those things. But, sorry, brain stop for a second there. My point is, I have seen teams be disregarded or seen their championships kind of be disregarded because of injury issues, but that team turned out to be legit. And I've also seen teams that are young and really good reach the finals and then never get back there. So as much as people are saying that, like, hey, you know, this team is super young, that's their excuse. Also, well, they'll get back. They'll be back. They'll be fine. Like, can you say that? Do we know for sure? I mean, people were saying that about OKC with the KD, Westbrook, Harden trio. No disrespect to Ibaka. But they never got back. So who knows? Anyway, sorry. I think I kind of talked enough about basketball. Although I will say, I've talked enough about basketball, but I'm not done yet. I did say, after Game 4, number one, I thought Wemby was going to be suspended because I did have it wrong. That was my bad. I thought he did have enough flagrant points. He did not. He probably should have when, he shoved Brunson to the ground by the back of his head. And the fact that closeout wasn't called a foul at all, let alone a flagrant, when Brunson was called for the same thing in Game 4, which was, I think, a good call. It's a right letter of the rule call, but was much less egregious than when Wemby did it, and Wemby just got away with it. Like, really? What are we doing here? But to my point, I had said after Game 4, if Wemby is suspended, they have zero chance of winning Game 5. If Wemby plays, I think they still lose. I think the Spurs are going to get off to like a strong start, but they're going to fizzle out, and the Knicks are going to win. And it's exactly what happened. Congrats to the Knicks. Oh boy. That Shrek 5 trailer. I've only watched it once. I don't really intend to watch the trailer again. I just didn't like it. And I think it's just, I don't like the look of it. Which is sad because I love Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Like, I imagine it's like the same team. It has a similar look and art style to a movie I really like. I think it really is just, man, this doesn't look like Shrek. I don't like the way Shrek looks. Donkey looks fine, but it's slightly off. I actually think Fiona looked okay. I didn't really have a problem with her. I think Gingy looked fine. I just didn't want to see Gingy twerking. I watched a Shrek trailer that didn't make me laugh, which is not a good sign. I'm hopeful that the movie will still be great. Like, it'll come out and it's like, look, the trailer wasn't great, but the movie's actually really good, and I'm not sounding too confident. Like I said, I hope, but I mean, I also last year hoped the Saints would win the Super Bowl. I had no confidence in it, but I hoped it would happen. Like, I hope it's great. I'm not holding my breath. I'm not convinced that it will be terrible, though. It's just more of a, well, maybe it wasn't a good first impression, but we'll see what happens. Toy Story 5. I haven't seen it yet. It hasn't come out yet. Actually, it might come out tonight, because I feel like oftentimes movies come out on Friday, which means they really come out on Thursday. So there is a non-zero chance I'll be able to watch it tonight, but I tentatively plan to watch it tomorrow. Fully admitting, yes, I am the problem. I am the reason this kind of movie exists, where it's like, well, this reached its ending with 3, but then we made another one, and I am a Toy Story 4 defender. I will admit, I think it is the weakest of the 4. The more I've thought about it, the more I've come to terms with it. I'm like, look, I don't think it's as good as 1, 2, or 3, but I really like this movie. There is a lot that I love about Toy Story 4. I think it's important. I will not fight. I will disagree, and I might even argue, but I'm not like really gonna fight somebody who says Toy Story 3 is a perfect ending. I think, knowing Woody's character, like throughout the films, he's someone that's very impulsive. He tried to knock Buzz out the window. He did knock Buzz out the window. He was trying to knock him down the shelf because he was upset. He was gonna join the Roundup gang in Japan and leave Andy and his friends behind to be admired forever but never played with. And then in 3, he chooses his friends over Andy. These are all decisions that Woody has made while being very emotional. Hell, at the start of Toy Story 4, he nearly joins Bo and leaves Andy and his friends behind, but isn't quite able to do it. He is always making impulsive decisions. The ending of Toy Story 3 is the one time he made an impulsive decision and it stuck. And Toy Story 4 is him living with the consequences and not like a, man, my life is now totally over and it sucks. But as much as I love my friends, and they're my family, I think that Woody genuinely regretted leaving Andy behind. And seeing this movie about him dealing with that, I think is super interesting. I don't know what I'm gonna think of 5. I don't think I have seen a trailer for this film that made me go, yo, I've gotta see this. It's always been, I'm cautiously optimistic. And I mean, I think the idea of toys fighting technology because, kids are addicted to screens and whatnot, like, I think that makes sense for a Toy Story movie, but again, if Toy Story 3 is a perfect ending, I do kind of see Toy Story 4 as, maybe necessary isn't the right word, but I think Toy Story 4, at least for me, more than justifies its existence. I don't know how 5 does in terms of Woody's story and, like, emotional arc. Maybe it will. Maybe I'll watch Toy Story 5 and go, okay, this is actually the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Which is generally what happens when I watch a Toy Story movie. I have watched all of these in theaters, which is why I'm like, I know 5 doesn't look great to me, but it hasn't steered me wrong yet, and Lightyear doesn't count. It is not a Toy Story film. The words toy and story don't appear in the title. But boy, if we're counting Lightyear, I think it's Pixar's worst film. I think it's worse than Brave and The Good Dinosaur. And for me, it's a race to the bottom with those 2 movies, and then Lightyear said, it's not a contest anymore. That is how much I hate that movie. I want 5 to be great. I want to watch it, be blown away, and be like, we're good. We're back. We're so back. I still need to watch Hoppers. I've heard it's really good. But again, like, the trailers did not inspire confidence, and I've heard, no, this movie's fantastic. I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But, we'll see, man. We'll see. So that I've rambled about 5s, I've got a bunch of other things to talk about. So I'm gonna tell a story. So I think last week I had ordered something online. I had ordered some Magic the Gathering cards. I'll show them off here in a bit. But I got a notification that, like, okay, like, they're probably going to be delivered by Monday night. Cool. So Monday, I have my day. I get home that night. And I check and I see that, oh, they were actually delivered earlier today. Cool. I don't see them in the mailbox. Okay. Maybe someone at the house, like, got them. Okay. No, I don't see them anywhere. I'll ask in the morning. So Tuesday, I ask. No one has seen them. So, like, I go to my place at the UPS store. I'm like, maybe it went there by mistake? No. Maybe it got delivered to my friend's house? No. Okay. Where are these things? So yesterday, I go to the post office. Like, all right, do you guys know what's up? Like, blah, 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 blah. Can we figure this out? So, like, I give my name, my address, and they're like, okay, well, we'll give you a call a little later. Like, what, the person who, like, checks this stuff, they're busy right now, but we'll call you. Cool. So I continue my day. I have to drop off my car at the tire place because I think I have a hole in one of my tires. So while that's getting repaired, I just walk back to the house. It was a pretty long walk, but it was nice. I've been trying to walk and jog more, just trying to make sure I get my daily exercise. The weather is not good today, so I think today is a day off. But after yesterday, like went from one side of town to the other and then back later, I think I kind of made up for it. But it's been like this was around maybe 11 or so, and then about 2:30 I get my car back. Still have not heard from the post office. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't want to bother them because I went earlier, but it's been about 3 hours. Let me just go and double check because, it's possible that they forgot. It's possible they'll just get to it later. But if possible, I would like to take care of this now. I'm not going to be an asshole, but I would like to take care of this now. So I go, and I talk to one of the attendants. Is that the right word for it? Maybe it's teller. I know it's teller at the bank. I don't know if it's a teller at the post office. But anyways, I speak to one of the employees. And same thing, name, address. Okay, let me go back. And then she comes back and is like, okay, so here's the thing. I did see the photo of the delivery, so I can confirm it got delivered. There's no name on the package, so I can't confirm that it's your name. It also, like, the address is not the address you gave me. Like, huh? Well, that's weird. Okay, well, let me give you the UPS address. Let me give you, like, my friend's house, because maybe it went to those. No, it didn't go to either of those. Like, I'm sorry. And because it's not the matching address and your name wasn't on it, I can't just show you the picture. Like, huh? What? Because I have the confirmation number. That's the other thing. I had to give, like, my name, my address, and the confirmation number. I'm like, okay. I mean, like, thank you for helping, but what the heck happened? So I double check the email saying that, like, hey, it's been sent. And so I look at the address and like, yeah. Oh, there's one number different in the address. Okay. Where's that? Okay, that's not that far, but it is on the other side of town. Now my phone's getting kind of low on battery, and I've kind of been all around town today. I think I just want to, like, go to the house, chill, let my phone charge, do some stuff, and then probably do this later, like, because around this time now, it's like maybe 2:30, 2:45. Like, I can't go if it's too late, because the last thing I want to do is, like, show up at someone's house, like, in the middle of the night, be like, hey, yo, can I check your mailbox? I want to be reasonable. I'm like, I don't want to go now. So I go, and I set up my phone so I can charge it, because I have, like, my cable does not work well, so a little bit ago, I think Clay got me, like, a charging stand. Shout out to him, I really appreciate it. And the stand will have two lights, a blue light and a green light. Blue light means charging, everything's fine. Green light means, but it's not working right now. And sometimes that happens. And when that happens, I generally will just unplug it, plug it back in, and then it works fine. So I plug in my phone, I set it on the stand, green light immediately. I'm like, okay, unplug, plug it back in. Green light immediately. I try this a couple times, and then I just get this, like, feeling that, dude, just go. You gotta go do this. Go and do it. Do it now. Because if you sit here and you charge your phone and you do other stuff, you're not gonna do it today. Yeah, I don't want to do it right now. Yeah, but you should. So I run my phone. It's at, like, maybe 15% or so. I'm like, this should be plenty to get across town, but we'll see. And thankfully it is. But I get there. I ring the doorbell. No one answers. I ring the doorbell again. And then someone answers. And they were just lovely. Like, genuinely, like, they were super nice. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I think my mail got delivered to you by mistake. He's like, I'm going to be honest. It happens a lot. It happens all the time. Tell you what, let me go ask my wife to see if she saw anything. And if not, it might still be in the mailbox. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I think it's in the mailbox. Let's go check. And yeah, sure enough, there it was. And when I get back into my car, I just kind of have this feeling of like, see, you should have went. Good thing your phone messed up. I'm like, yeah. And then when I get back to the house, like to plug my phone back in, I get a green light. And then almost immediately after it goes blue. I was like, yeah, just playing a little joke on you, but you did what you needed to. Good job. And that was a thing yesterday. It was just kind of fun. It was kind of neat. But to show off the cards I got the new Secret Lair Friendship is Magic thing. Okay, so because there's two things they did. It's like, here's a bunch of cards like Soul Ring and Arcane Signet with pony art. That I didn't get, but I got the full art lands. So here's the planes. Actually, let me just do these two at a time, because it's two of each. Here's planes. What's neat, because I have like all the main 6 cards. All of them are white, so they're all on planes. And here's the mountain. Only Rainbow Dash and Pinky have red, so they're the two that are on the mountains. Same with Applejack and Fluttershy being the only 2 on forest. So, or they're the only 2 that require forest, so they're the only 2 on forest. And then Swamp just has Discord, which is interesting because Nightmare Moon / Luna also requires black, but she's not on the card art for that. And then Island is Sparkle and Rarity. And it also came with an extra card that I didn't know existed. And that's just kind of neat. And to read the effect, it's Knight's Whisper, 1 colorless, 1 black, sorcery. You draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. Pot agreed with 2 life. Then Yu-Gi-Oh! This would be super bad. I'm like, cool. That's just super neat. Like, I'm glad I got the cards. I have a little fun story to go with it. Because the deck that I play in Commander with my friends is I play the Twilight Sparkle deck. This is not a deck that they made, but they made Secret Lair cards. Originally, it was just Sparkle, Rarity, and Nightmare Moon that can also get flipped and turned into Luna. Then, I don't think it was last year. It was a couple of years ago. They released a new set that was the rest of the main 6 plus Discord. And so now, like I said, there's the lands, which had an extra card, and here's a bunch of pre-existing cards that just have like pony art on them. And I think that's really neat. I would like to get those. I just haven't. I think it's actually sold out, so I think I missed my shot, which sucks, but it is what it is. I haven't played Magic with my friends for a good while, but maybe we'll be able to. So I just went ahead and like a lot of my lands, like, all right, let me just take out the planes and put in these new ones, etc., etc. And I think I threw out like a forest that I probably didn't need to throw Night Whisper. So there's that. Moving on to next thing. So Brothers Karamazov, I've gotten back into reading. I still haven't read a whole lot. I don't have an ETA on when I plan to finish the book, but I feel like I'm behind. I'm trying to get back into reading it more, but I am enjoying it. I started a new game because I started playing Fate Samurai Remnant, and I don't know if I like it. Like, it's a Grail War. You had me at hello. I love me a good Grail War. Saber already is a very fun character. I'm really enjoying a lot of their like personality and their interactions. And when I get to play as Saber, I think the combat's really fun. But I don't like playing as Iori. I don't really love Muso games and that kind of combat. And I know the other day, like I made my Smash Bros video and I talked about Senran Kagura and how much I loved playing Estival Versus, which is a Muso game. And I was having a conversation with Clay about it yesterday. I'm like, so why did I really like playing that, but I don't like playing this? And I think for me, the big thing is Senran Kagura had like 30 playable characters. That might be an accurate number. It's something close to it. So even if there is a character where I'm like, I don't super love how you play. Like, for example, I think Renka was the character I played the most. Her thing is she has like 2 taiko drumsticks and just beats people like they're taiko drums while also like summoning like lightning. This character is fun. Like, this is just really cool. This is flashy. I am doing insane over the top shit. and it's fun. Her sister Hanabi is very slow and swings a giant hammer and like uses fireworks. And I remember thinking, you are not nearly as fun, so a mission where I have to play as you is not great. But also, I think you're like a fun, goofy person, and you have a neat moveset. It's not for me personally, but then there's this character that's super fun, or there's this character that's super fun. And as you level up a character, you just get more moves for them, which means I can start doing more and more stuff, and I like that feeling of advancement. And what I've noticed here is, at least so far, I'm like 3 hours in, I'm essentially playing as one character, and then if my meter gets high enough, I can play as someone else that I think is more fun. And I know, like, I can play as someone else, but it's not as often as I would like, so that variety that I got from another game, I don't have here. I don't think Iori is that interesting to play as. Like, I've got a couple different styles. I would like more, and from, like, the wheel, it looks like more will be added, but in 3 hours, I've had 2 styles, and one of them is kind of fun. The water style is fun. The earth style, I just don't like playing as kind of at all. And there's an enemy type, which is essentially a lot of your attacks aren't going to do much damage because you essentially have to get through my defense meter before you can get to my actual health. And before you can start damaging my defense meter, you just kind of have to wait until I'm open. Then you can hit me for a bit, but your attacks aren't going to do too much. You can call in Saber every now and then, which will do some damage to me, and that will help. And then you can cast your own spells, which you don't have a lot of, which also have a finite resource, which is not a crazy amount. But there are times where I'm like, oh, okay, this does kind of add up. I don't want to use everything I have on just one enemy. And these fights suck because I just think they're really slow. And less of like this is really tactical and I need to make sure I'm playing intelligently, and more that, no, it's just slow to pad the game. That's how it feels, which is not good. So the 90% of the game where I have to play Iori has been fine to not fun, and then the like 10%, it's probably more 95 to 5, and like the 5% where I get to play as Saber, I'm like, oh wait, no, this is awesome. I genuinely, there have been points where I switched to Saber, I'm like, cool, I get to have fun again. Oh boy, that did not last very long. So that's not a good sign. And what I was telling Clay is, I think what I want to do is give the game somewhere between like 5 to 10 hours. And at that, because I think in total it's like 30, 35 with multiple endings. If after that amount of time, I'm still not sold, I'm still not having fun, I think I am just going to drop it. But I do want to give it a good faith effort, and I feel like a couple more hours would be a good faith effort. But in terms of the story, like, again, it's a Grail War. I love Grail Wars. There's my girl Musashi. So I enjoy that. Like, if this gets adapted, I'll probably watch. I still need to watch Fate Strange Fake, but I would probably love watching an adaptation. I just don't think I love playing it. And I also was telling Clay the other day, I'm like, look, it's no stellar play. I really like that game. But there's that. Another thing I started this week is I started watching 30 Rock. I actually finished season 1 yesterday. Oh boy. I probably have like a big belly laugh guffaw at least once an episode. I have been laughing like so consistently and so hard while watching this show. Because Jose loves it. Like, I'm actually borrowing like his box set of the show. Like, he's been trying to get me to watch it for the last like maybe year or two. And I'm like, I'm interested, because anytime like I've seen a clip, like just like walked in while you were watching or you've shown me something, I've laughed super hard. So I want to. And I was just kind of looking at my list of shows the other day. I'm like, all right, there's a bunch of Gundam on here that I still need to do, but a bunch of other shows as well. And here's one that's on the list, and I know I have easy access to it, and I know Jose really wants me to watch it. Let me go and watch 30 Rock. So, I blew through season 1. My favorite joke is the Thomas Jefferson joke where Tracy Jordan learns that he's a descendant of Thomas Jefferson. Oh gosh. Sorry, I just remembered Dr. Leo Spaceman. There is a character whose name is spelled Spaceman, but it's pronounced Spaceman, played by Chris Parnell. And anytime he is on the screen, it's gold. So he takes a paternity test for Tracy. He's like, good news. Like, that kid wasn't yours. Other news, you're like 80% white. And he learns he's a descendant of Thomas Jefferson, which just kind of throws his whole vibe out of whack. And he has a dream sequence where he's on Maury, and Thomas Jefferson, played by Alec Baldwin, shows up. And he refers to Maury as Morance, which made me laugh super hard. And it's America, which I invented. And then the crowd starts booing him. Then he gives the crowd the double burn. It's so funny. Like, that is easily my favorite joke of the season. But then you have, like, Tracy jumping off the yacht in one of the first few episodes that I am a stabbing robot. He, like, tries to stab Conan. You have Jenna on a hardball. It's so funny. Oh my goodness. You've got the fireworks. There have been so many things in this show that have made me just like howl with laughter. To the point where specifically like the last couple days, like, okay, Clay works the night shift. I can't start watching 30 Rock until he wakes up. Because I know there's going to be a point where I just laugh really hard uncontrollably. And the last thing I want to do is wake him up when I know he needs his sleep. So I'm going to wait. Okay, he's awake. Cool. I'm going to throw on 30. But I'm loving it. So I think my plan, because there's about 140 episodes. I think it's like 138 or something like that. 7 seasons. I'm going to try to probably do a season a week. So since I finished season 1 yesterday, I'll take like a day or 2 off. And then maybe Saturday or like maybe tomorrow, that'll take Saturday, something like that. But I'll probably chill for like a day or 2 and then get on season 2. And I know season 2 is shorter because of the writer's strike, so I should get through that one pretty quick. But no, absolutely loving it so far. Another thing I started listening to my next artist, which before I did that, there was a new OK Goodnight album that came out. So I listened to that. I really enjoyed it. Really good. I've been following it as it's been coming out. Like some of the different music videos have released, which is funny because I think it was for the song 22. I really liked the music video. I watched that the day that Patrick Willems posted his video about like the death of the music video. I'm like, oh, that was a fun coinky dink. But no, Stop Go is the name of the new album. I really liked it. But the new artist I have decided upon is Taylor Swift. I am finally going full Swiftie. So I've listened to the first 2 albums. That's her self-titled debut and Fearless. And I am taking notes as I go, so I won't go super deep into it. But I will say, number 1 for the self-titled debut album, I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's good. I liked it. Like, I was home alone, so I was just kind of dancing and vibing to some country music while making my breakfast, and it was nice. And Fearless, I listened to that over the course of 2 days because I listened to the first half while playing Fate, and then the second half I was just chilling. I was like, hey, let me go ahead and listen to the back half of this album. Look, man. When I'm driving and I'm just minding my own business and Love Story comes on the radio turns up and the windows go down. It just happens every time. I will just be doing whatever, maybe flipping through channels or thinking about whatever, and then I will just get so hyped when it's time to start belting out Romeo Take Me, like every time. I love that song. And it's probably not even my favorite song of the album, because I will also do the same thing with You Belong With Me, which, funny enough, was playing on the radio the other day, and I'm like, yeah, that's my shit. So what's the next album? It's called like Live Now or something like that. I might have gotten it totally wrong. I'm planning to, when I'm done with this, I'm going to go downstairs and bake cookies, which every time my brain will just go baking Christmas, tra-la-la. So I'm hoping I'm just going to listen to the next album while I'm baking. But I'm enjoying it so far. There's like 12 albums or something, and that's not even getting into the Taylor versions, which I don't think I'm gonna listen to. I can maybe be convinced, but the way I see it, I'm like, look, I don't know if I really want to listen to like a whole re-recording of an album that I just listened to. I think I'm probably good. But, that's how that's going. Let me go back to my list. Oh, yeah, Isla is now tentatively done. Like, book 1 is done. I posted the last chapter. Was that last week or the week before? I think it was last week. And no. Yes. Okay, it was last week, because I got it done like Monday, because I had missed the previous deadline. And then I spent the next few days off and on kind of tinkering with some stuff that needed to be tinkered with, like abilities from characters that weren't Robin that happened. Like, okay, let me actually put in the text here of what's going on. I didn't do it initially because in my head I'm like, okay, is this text that Robin is actively seeing every time someone uses an ability? I don't think so, and I don't think he's actively checking what's going on every time. So I don't need to add it. But then as I was writing the last couple chapters, Whirlwind of Grace and Violence, I love that chapter title. That and the fight against the boss with Ilgran Vermo, I'm like, I am actively putting in the text because I think this needs to be here. I feel like there should be an explanation of this is what the ability does, this is the cost, and then like some flavor text to have some fun with it. So I went back, started adding stuff in my head. I'm like, look, even if Robin's not actively seeing, it's like Yu Yu Hakusho, where an ability shows up, like the text goes black, here's the name, and the narrator says some shit. That's how I'm guessing I'm going to treat this now. Like, I did that. I know there was a point where there was like there are escape items, like an escape rope, a go home, and I just didn't give it a name, and I 100% thought I did. Like, okay, I hate that it's just like miscellaneous escape item. So I decided to call them ARC tickets because they will specifically work for only 2 people, like a maximum of 2 people. I'm like, an ARC ticket, that's kind of fun. I think that was all I did. I considered giving flavor text for weapons and then realized, if I'm being honest, I really don't care enough. Unless, like, I think I did for Red Like Roses, because that's not a signature weapon. Like, I'm gonna do that, but anytime someone shows off a new weapon, I'm like, look, man, unless it does something, like, super unique, and I don't know if most of these do, I don't think I'm gonna be honest, like, that's more work, and it's not something that particularly interests me. But I feel like explaining what an ability does, yeah, that interests me because that's really important to what's going on. So, that's done. And I'm supposed to be doing Severance, because I did want to revisit the prologue. But man, I've missed Orichalcum, so I've been doing that instead. It's like, I've been wanting to do this prologue for so freaking long. And I finally got to it, I finally revised it, and I'm happy with it. But not, because, like, it feels too short. So, like, I sent it out to, like, a Discord that I'm in for some feedback, and I got some feedback. I'm like, okay, I feel like this gave me some ideas of what I can do to try to add to it, to supplement it, to make it a bit better, like, punch it up a bit. So, hopefully, I could do some of that. I'm excited. Oh, boy, I love Orichalcum. Not to say I don't love Isla, because I do. But it's kind of that thing, like, when I'm working on Isla, boy, I miss Orichalcum. Then when I'm working on Orichalcum, I'm like, boy, I miss Isla. And then there's Severance where I'm like, I do miss you, but I am busy at the moment. The only other thing is I watched a bunch of shorts yesterday. Not like scrolling through 2-minute YouTube shorts, like short films, like a lot of animated stuff. So I watched something called Rotten Love, which I enjoyed. It's really short. That one was like 5 minutes, probably less. But it was really cute. It was sweet. I thought it was super pretty. There was one that was called, sorry, I have their names written down. I think it was Princess Who Forges the Sun, which is stop motion. And I was expecting like a claymation stop motion, but it said it's like paper crafts stop motion. And it's really cool. It's like this, I feel like I'm watching like a Paper Mario sort of thing. And I would love to see this as, I think he left a comment. I was like, I'm going to get a 30-hour RPG on my desk by Monday. Like, this looks cool. I liked it. A couple of Pixar shorts, just called Float and Loop. I enjoy both of those. There was, what does that say? Oh, I was like, what the heck does that say? It was called Sitting Pretty. It was a music video. It was an animated music video. I liked it a lot. And heck, that's the other one I watched, which I've been meaning to watch for a few days. It was the like proof of concept for Skinamarink. And Clay was telling me about it the other day. He's like, no, I think it's a lot better because I think Skinamarink is too long. This being more condensed, it's also a bit more clear what's going on. I think it's better. So I watched it yesterday, and I'll be honest. I was like, where is this going? Because it is very much like Skinamarink, where there's just kind of shots of stuff. And like, it's building an atmosphere, and as someone who doesn't love liminal space, like, yeah, like I don't love this, but it feels like a lot of dead air. Is something gonna happen? And then things happened. And I'm like, okay. Well, this got really interesting all of a sudden. And I don't really want to spoil it here, but I also don't think I'm going to do a video on it. I would recommend it. Like, if you do like horror, if you like slow pacing, if you enjoyed Skinamarink, definitely give heck a watch. But, I will say, like, as I was watching it, it took me a while to get into it, but having seen it, I feel like I'm more positive about it. Like, the more I think about it, the more I like it. But I wasn't super crazy about it as I was watching, if that makes any sense. Oh, I also learned about a new fighting game. Oh, I want to try this out. It's called Pokemon Close Combat, and it's a 2D fighting game with playable Pokemon. And everyone except Pikachu, because Pikachu was added as like an anniversary character. And it's not even like Pikachu Libre, it's just straight up fat Pikachu. But everyone else is a legit fighting type. I think that's really cool. And just like looking at some of the different characters, like Tyrogue, that's interesting. It's not like any of the evolutions, but depending on how you played, like if you landed as like a certain amount of punches or kicks or the same, the next round you'll either play as Chan, Lee, or Top. I'm like, oh, that's so neat. Like, what the hell? Oh, I really want to check this out. So hopefully at some point, like Jose and I could give it a go and like figure it out and have some fun. But I think that's about it. Like I said, I'm gonna try to go bake some cookies and hopefully also listen to some Taylor Swift.